What is a hero? What intrinsically makes them heroic? Could we make it in this world without them? And what do they make us realize about ourselves and our lives? I got one today for you guys from the heart, from my heart. This is an insane, incredible, inspiring, heartwarming story that hit me really close to home. And it's a story about heroism and what it truly means to be a hero. Tied into this story is how I got my first actual James Bond watch. The Omega Seamaster Professional Diver 300M with the blue wave dial. Just like the one used in GoldenEye through Die Another Day. I think it's actually in the beginning of Casino Royale as well. It's the Pierce Brosnan watch. It's the James Bond watch. Now, what's remarkable is the events that took place over the course of 24 hours that led to me acquiring this watch. Let's jump in, and I'll tell you a story about how these two seemingly unrelated things, heroism and watches, correlate.
Bond. James Bond.
Good morning. My name's Bond. James Bond.
Solitaire.
My name's Bond. James Bond.
Who are you?
Bond. James Bond.
The name's Bond. James Bond.
Bond. James Bond.
Howdy, and welcome to episode 16 of Sammy Legend's James Bond Show. I am Sammy Legend. You're getting 2 for 1 today with this video. I could have made this long video into 2 different videos, but I wanted to tell them together as they relate to each other so much, and there's so much that intersects throughout these 2 stories. Some housekeeping right off the bat to get it out of the way and get it done. I'll just let you know now that I made a haphazard script for this video. It's down here. So if I look down off camera, it's because I'm looking at my notes. Because I didn't want to actually accidentally leave out anything important in this story. So I'm also bound to interject my own thoughts about what happened that I didn't type out. I just wanted to give you guys a heads up. So if I'm looking down or if I'm moving my arm like this, I'm moving my screen so I can see my notes of where I'm at. I also won't be including any funny snippets, little clips from Bond or other movies in this video, as I feel the events that happened are far from funny, and I feel that if I did so, I would be doing a disservice to the people involved. That being said, this is an uplifting, inspiring story that I intend to tell as wholeheartedly as I can, while at the same time keeping it lighthearted, as lighthearted as I can. And I know that I'm not the best storyteller, but I will do the best that I can to tell this from the bottom of my heart, because it truly means a lot to me. So, with all the housekeeping out of the way, and all that in mind, let's jump into this, and we'll just start chronologically, and we'll go from there. Okay, I also got a bottle of water here, because I know that I'm going to be doing a lot of talking and telling this story. So, what happened was, my cousin, who I am really close to, her and her husband went out to a restaurant for breakfast or lunch, I'm not sure which, and they were inside the restaurant, and they were being seated. They were on their way to the booth or the table. And a car crashed through the window and it hit my cousin's husband, and it took him flying through the restaurant, through tables and chairs and booths, and I think a wall as well. And the car was on top of him. I think he was laying underneath the bumper, so like the tire wasn't on him. If that had happened, he probably would have died. He did not die. But what happened before he got hit by the car is the heroic part. It's the whole point of this video. Thank God that he was being aware of his surroundings, because he could have been looking down at the ground or off to the side or up the ceiling or who knows what. But he was aware of his surroundings, and as they were walking to the table, he saw that this car was either about to crash into the building, or he had a split-second decision, and it had just crashed through the glass, and he heard it. What he did is shove my cousin, his wife. He shoved her out of the way, and he got hit by the car. He saved my cousin's life, and I am incredibly grateful to him for that. And you know, I'm sure some people haven't, but I'm sure there are a lot of people that are watching where they've been in a similar scenario, and your world kind of just stops. And like when you come back to, which seems like an eternity later, but it's probably really just like a few seconds. That's what happened to my cousin. When she came to, she heard him screaming, "Get it off me, get it off me." I can't even imagine that. To hear that coming from your spouse, you know, they just got hit by a car. To hear them screaming, "Get it off me, get it off me." That breaks my heart. That's horrible. That's horrific. So, at some point, I don't know if it was the driver of the car or if it was the fire department, the police, I'm not sure. But at some point, shortly thereafter, the car got backed off of him, and my cousin went crazy, like taking all the debris off him, throwing glass and the tables and the chairs, whatever debris that was on him, getting it all off him. And she had a few scratches and stuff like that too. But you're in like a fight, flight, or fright mode in a situation like this, and thank God that he didn't fright, where he would just, you know, deer in the headlights, just stood there. He took action and he did something, and his decision saved my cousin's life. He ended up with a broken leg. He actually just had surgery yesterday from when I'm recording this video, which, by the way, I'm recording this at the end of March. All of this, I believe, is going to be filmed in March, unless I somehow do something later. But this video that you're watching now, obviously, it's what, July or August now? I'm not sure. But right now, as I'm filming, all of this happened in March. So he just had a surgery yesterday. It went well. It was like a 4-hour surgery on his leg. He had to get a bunch of stitches in his hand too. But that's the story. I will get into more details on how I feel emotionally and things like that later on in this video. But for now, that's the setup. That's the plot. That sounds weird to say, but that's the driving force of this video, is what he did. So what I'm about to show you is my first video that I filmed for this. I filmed this already. It was probably a week ago. This was the day after that this happened. I was on my way to get the watch. These were my initial thoughts, emotions, reactions. I'm going to play it for you, and I have some additional thoughts later on. So here are my initial thoughts and reactions.
Howdy.
and welcome to Sammy Legend's James Bond Show. I am Sammy Legend. As you can see, I'm not at the house today. I'm out doing something different. I'm actually going to get my first actual Omega. I have the Omega Swatch, Moon Swatch Speedmaster, but that's a Swatch. It's just with the Omega logo on it. It's not an actual Omega. So the story behind that is life is too short. Okay, we all have to be emotionally, financially, spiritually, physically healthy to have a fulfilled life. And that's something that I've been working on, all of those, since I turned 30. And I just found out yesterday that my cousin, who I'm very, very close with, her husband was actually involved in an accident at a restaurant, and a car came crashing through the glass at the restaurant, and he got pinned underneath the car. So, seriously, life is way too short. Enjoy it. Do the things that you enjoy. Get the things that you want. Don't idolize them, because that's not what we need. It's nice to have them, but it's not, the end all be all of life. But I've been wanting an actual Omega for a few years now, quite a few years, and now I have an opportunity to buy one. So I'm on my way to go pick it up at a jewelry store right now. I didn't ask them yet if I can film or not. We will see how that goes. And on the way there, this happened. Of course, James Bond would come on my iPod. Yes, I still use an iPod. So, and this is not my car either. This is a rental. My car got backed into, and it's at the shop right now. But, so I'm on my way there, and I'm going to buy my first Omega. I'm getting the Seamaster Diver 300M, just the regular base model, like the one you see in GoldenEye. I tried to get the 60th anniversary one, but they are very, very hard to get. This jewelry store told me that it is incredibly difficult to get. They get maybe 1 or 2 a year. And this jewelry store also there used to be an Omega boutique near me here in Detroit. They closed down, and I think they kind of consolidated into this store, which just moved locations. It's a brand new, bigger building, and the lady that was helping me out, she said that they just started selling Omegas like 3 weeks ago. So that is cool too. But I'm going to take you along on this journey. We'll see how much I can film. If they don't want me to film, or if I get crappy footage, I'll just end up doing some B-roll probably at home, and then I'll do a video about it at home as well. But seriously, life is way too short. Go on that trip that you want to go. Don't put yourself in financial hardship, or any kind of hardship, physical, mental, spiritual, anything that might damage your strength in that category. But do the things that you want to do. Go on that trip that you've been wanting to go on. Get the Omega that you've been wanting, because of James Bond being a big influence on your life. And at the end of the day, it is just a watch. Like I said, it's just a watch. Don't idolize it. It's not what makes you you. But do what makes you happy in life, and what brings joy to your life. And if you're doing all those things in all those categories, mental, physical, spiritual, financial, physical, if I didn't say that, all these aspects of life, you need a good amount. Like, you can't just be 95% in one, and then 2 or 3% in any of the others. You need a good balance in all these things in life. And that's seriously, like, I can't believe that this happened to her husband. He's not dead, but seriously, man, like, enjoy life. This thing is way too short. We only get so much sand in the hourglass, and when all the sand has gone through, you cannot flip the hourglass back over. So what are you doing with the little time that you got? That's why it's called spending time. It's the most valuable resource a human has. You spend time because it's the one thing you can't get back. You can always get more money. You cannot get more time. But on that note, I know that might be a little grim, but I think it's also kind of optimistic as well. On that note, let's head down there and let's see what kind of footage I can get, and I'll be coming home with a new Omega. Okay, let's clarify and expand on some of that now that I've had some time to collect my thoughts and put them into more cohesive words. One thing I didn't say in that video that I wanted to, but I was so, there was a lot going through my head, and I couldn't find the words to actually say this. But when I said life is way too short, what I also wanted to add on to that was, you never know when something like this or worse is going to happen. You know that old saying of, oh, you can get hit by a bus crossing the street. You know, that kind of saying. You kind of take it for granted unless it happens to you in your life directly or indirectly with someone you know. In this case, that the latter is for me. It didn't directly affect me, or not affect me, because it did affect me, but it didn't directly happen to me. But yeah, you never know. Seriously, you can get hit by a car. You could crossing the street. You never know. There's so many things. You could get shot. There's a billion things that can happen to you where you're just horrifically injured, or like I said, or worse, where you die. This is one of those scenarios where you need to take a step back and really think about your life. When I had said the base model, I meant that the watch wasn't like a Planet Ocean 600M where, you know, they're thicker, you know, for more depth in the water, or any kind of crazy expensive limited version or color of the 300M. I just got the regular old James Bond watch. And when I said, again, like when I said they opened 3 weeks ago, I'm filming this in March, like I said, so they probably opened the beginning of March or the end of February. So they've already been open for a while by the time you've seen this video. So just keep that in mind. When I said it's just a watch, I also wanted to say that it's anything. It's a new phone. The newest and best phone. It's a supercharger upgrade for your car. It's a new car. It's a house. It's a pair of limited edition, like Jordan shoes or something. I don't know. I don't wear Jordans or anything, but I know that there are some crazy expensive ones. But these are just things. This is just a thing. This watch, it doesn't make you you. It doesn't. No thing in this world makes you you. You can have the biggest mansion house, the most expensive car, all the things. But that's all the things. What makes you you is the content of your character. What you stand up for, what you believe in, and what you put your effort into. You know, it's the fruits of your labor kind of thing. It's how you treat other human beings. We need more good people out there in the world, like my cousin's husband, willing to do these kind of things, these hard things. Because doing the right thing, even when no one is looking, is called integrity. And that is something that is sorely lacking in today's world. You always want to take the narrow road, everyone takes the wide road. It is well traveled. To quote President Theodore Roosevelt, far better is it to dare mighty things, to win glorious triumphs even though checkered by failure, than to take rank with those poor spirits who neither enjoy much nor suffer much. Suffering and going through hard times, it's just a part of life, but it makes you a better, more well-rounded person. If you don't dare mighty things, you will neither have much good or suffer much. And neither of those are a fulfilling life. You're basically just floating through life at that point. How can you truly be grateful for the light, for the good times, the good things that happen in life, if you don't ever experience darkness or trials and tribulations? The answer is you can't. Yin and yang type thing. You have to have both. You can't appreciate light or the good things in life if you don't experience bad things, and we all do. I'm not trying to downplay what happened to my cousin's husband, because that is absolutely horrible, but we all go through horrific stuff, and we can't appreciate the good things that happen in life as well without those. Because if all we ever had was just good things, you wouldn't know that they're good things. It would just be events that are happening in your life. The bottom line, I saw this online a week or so after this all happened, and it said, there are 3 simple rules in life. 1, if you don't go after what you want, you'll never have it. 2, if you don't ask, the answer is always no. And 3, if you don't step forward, you're always going to be in the same place. His heroism inspired me to go out and get something I've wanted for years. To live life to the fullest. And at least since that happened, I've been trying to do that for many years now. But at least since that happened, I have definitely been doing an even better job of that. This has definitely changed my outlook on life a little bit. And there are so many times in our lives where we say no to ourselves. We deny ourselves life. Like the 3 things I just mentioned. I know we've probably all heard them before. If you don't ask, the answer is always no. That's what this is. Now, it's a much more admirable character trait when someone is selfless rather than selfish. But there are times in life when we need to be a little selfish to treat ourselves. At least to a small degree, within sound, logical reason. Like going out and spending, say you've only got $3,000 in your bank account, and you go to a casino and you just slap all $3,000 right there on red on roulette, and it lands on black. You just lost it. Sure, there's a risk there, and risk big, win big type thing, but if that's all you have, and you're risking that, and you can end up in just a really bad spot in life, that is a stupid kind of selfish. Now, if you had like $100,000 in your bank account and you're slapping $3,000 on, that's a different story. But like I said, there's being selfish within sound, logical reason, which, like I had said in that initial video, that won't negatively impact you in any way in those categories: mental, physical, spiritual, financial. Life is a balancing act in everything. which again, yin and yang, it's a balancing act. Good things, bad things. All of this, it has to happen in life. It's part of being human. So that's what I did though. I went out and I bought myself a James Bond watch. I've been wanting this actual Omega. It didn't have to be this one, but I wanted an Omega for years. I've been into Bond for over 20 years now at this point, and I've known about Omega, and I've wanted one, I would say, at least since Casino Royale, probably Quantum of Solace, at the latest for sure. And I was kind of ignorant to the whole watch industry. It's Omega, it's James Bond. I was like, man, this is going to be like so far out of my ballpark. I'll never, ever, ever in my lifetime be able to afford an Omega or a Rolex or any, the big, well-known brands. So it's been many years in the making, in the back of my mind, that I've wanted one. And then this happened. And I was like, seriously, you know what? I've wanted one for this long, and you never know, like I said, when something like this is going to happen to you, or worse. You need to enjoy life. That's it. Now, I'm not saying that, like I said in that video, you don't idolize it. It's just a thing. It's not, you don't worship it. It's not gonna bring you really anything in life, except maybe some confidence, maybe some kind of minor status symbol. But that's really about it. But yeah, like I said, I wanted one for years, and this happened. Everyone has a catalyst in their life for anything. It could be something small that leads to them to go and do something, or purchase something, or not do something and not purchase something. There's many. Life is so nuanced. There's an infinite amount of things that can happen, scenarios that can occur where we do or don't do things. And this is one that happened where I just had like an epiphany about life. Like, seriously, this happened to someone very close to me. It could happen to me. So I'm just trying to do my life how I feel is best and what brings me happiness and joy. So I went out and I bought an Omega. I finally got one. I bought it at Tapper's Jewelry in Novi, Michigan, like I said in that initial video. They were incredibly, what's the word I'm looking for? They were very polite and accommodating. That's the word. They were accommodating. They did allow me to take videos and pictures, not of the entire store. I didn't do that, but I do have some. I'll be showing you them here in a minute. But this store was great. The salesperson that helped me, her name was Julie. She was great. This is another one of those things about living life. Like I said, I've never really had any sort of uppity, rich scenario happen in my life. I will say that being in that store and getting this and just all the things involved in that were a blast. They had a window where you can go and watch the watch guy working on your watch, resizing it, fixing it, whatever. That was really cool. They had like 2 different waiting areas, one of which was like in a bar area. They offered me water, pop, coffee, but not just coffee, like cappuccinos and espressos and things like that. And just the atmosphere was great. It was clean. Everyone was really polite. It was just an insanely great experience. And I would imagine that is how James Bond in both the novels and the books. I mean, the novels and the books. The novels and the movies. That's the kind of life that he lives. Not stupid extravagant, but at least somewhat extravagant life. So, yeah, it was Tappers in Novi, Michigan, suburb of Detroit. It was great. And the rest of what I'll show you is me inside Tappers getting the watch, and this is some really cool footage, I think. And they were, like I said, they were accommodating too, because they did some of the filming for me with my phone. It was great. It was a great time. All right, I made it to Tappers in Novi, Michigan. About to head in and get that Omega. Here we go. So this is a book Julie pulled out that I didn't even ask her to. She surprised me. Pay attention to the pose that he's got there. That'll come into play in a minute. This is just another angle of the book. I was so excited when she pulled that out. I was like, no way. This is me wearing a Planet Ocean from Quantum of Solace. This is me with the Quantum of Solace Planet Ocean on with that same pose, holding my sunglasses instead of a tie. This is me with the No Time to Die watch with the Milanese bracelet. This is a watch NATO strap that I'm considering on getting for my watch, but I think I'm going to go with this second one instead, as it has the silver and blue striping, kind of matches the color of the watch, and it looks really good. This is an awesome watch reveal with the box. It's so luxurious. I love this box and the wooden case that's inside. With the wooden watch display case is so beautiful. So well packaged. I love that button on the front with the Omega logo. So nice. I love the cream color leather in here. That's so nice. And you can lift up that little flap there, and then you got a little red watch roll that you can put your watch in and take it on the go. It's so nice. Little hidden compartment. Q would be proud. You can see the book there right off to the side. Very, very nice presentation. Very nice watch. Awesome box.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you so much. Appreciate
Yay.
it.
All right, Sam, here you go. Put that on, and remember you have the slide bar that you can push and open and close here.
Yep.
And there we are. There you go.
And this is me with my Omega on, doing that same Daniel Craig pose, trying to get that James Bond look on my face. This is some B-roll from home. I do love the wave face dial. Sometimes I do like the original wave face better. Just kind of depends on my mood. But this is the updated version that they started out releasing in 2018, which was the 25th anniversary of this watch. But yeah, this wave face is also so beautiful. That pillow that it's on is the one that came with the watch. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous watch. That wave face is so cool. The original is also really cool, but yeah, that's so beautiful. I love that you can see the movement inside, the pieces moving. That's the spring there. That's so beautiful. You can see all the jewels. Having an open case back is awesome. You got all that workmanship and craftsmanship in there. Why not show it off, And it's got that sapphire crystal on the back as well. So beautiful and neat to see. And it's got that awesome Omega bracelet there. And this is an outdoor little snippet here with some natural light on it. Natural light makes it look so much better. You get the good reflections and the lighting. It's so beautiful. It's just, you can't beat natural light on a watch, that's for sure. I love how everything pops on that. So beautiful. Awesome stuff. That's it's a great watch. It's a great looking watch. I do, like I said, I do kind of like the it's hit or miss. I don't know. It depends on my emotions where I'm at, but I like the new wave pattern, but I also really dig the original wave pattern on the watch. It's just, and that's also the wave pattern that's on the 60th anniversary one too. It's not this one. But yeah, so my final thoughts here. You know, I've said it a bunch in this video, and it is cliche, but life is very short. It goes by in the blink of an eye, and the older you get, the faster time goes by. It needs to be cherished. Like I said, when your hourglass or my hourglass runs out of sand, that last grain of sand goes through. You can't flip it over and start again. We have the time we have. We need to spend it wisely. Like I said, you can always make more money to spend. You can't make more time to spend. It's the most valuable currency we have. Spend the time wisely on your life, on others' lives and people around you, your family, your loved ones, your spouse. Because something like this could happen to them or to you. You never know. And you know, there's precautions we can take in life, sure. But even with precautions, human beings are flawed animals. It doesn't matter. You can be as safe as you want. Something will still always happen. And the eventuality of that is something bad happening or death. And I don't think people really realize the finality of death on Earth, or what you have to live with for the rest of your life with broken bones that will affect the rest of your life. You're going to be limited in some way. So while you can in your life, when you're not limited, and you know, even if you're not limited, everyone is still limited to some degree. There's no human is the same. We all have different strengths and weaknesses. Everyone's better at something else. But that's what we need to do, is spend the time that we have as wisely as we can. Because this is, I don't know what else to say. It's a horrible scenario. And it didn't, like I said, it didn't even happen directly to me, and it made me want to change my life. I hope that it does as well for my cousin and her husband. That they also continue to live life to the fullest, and be thankful that nothing worse did happen. That is what a hero is to me, though, is what he did. He was willing to sacrifice his life for someone else. That is a hero. Doing what's right, whether you're being watched or not. he did what was right. He pushed the love of his life, his wife, my cousin, out of the way to save her life. To take that, and he was willing to take the impact of the car and die, possibly. But it was a split-second decision, I guarantee you. Fight, flight, or fright. And he chose fight. He pushed her out of the way, and he got hit by a car. I just hope that you guys think about these kind of things and apply them in your life, and try to move through life is with as much happiness and joyfulness as you can. Something I didn't mention earlier that I would like to mention now, though, is that if you do get things, like, this is not a cheap watch, but I didn't get it to flaunt how much it costs. I didn't get it for anyone else. I got it for me. Anything you get, you shouldn't get to flaunt to someone else. You should get it because you want it in your life, because it brings you happiness or joy. Because that's very selfish and arrogant to just flaunt everything you have. That's stupid expensive. On purpose, to everybody, at every chance you get. That's not a character trait that I don't think a lot of people look up to. But, like I said, I hope that you guys take some of this to heart, and you can apply this in your life, and you guys can also enjoy life as much as possible. Like I said, go on that trip, go on that vacation that you've always wanted to go on. I've always wanted to go to the Bahamas, go to Nassau, ever since I saw Casino Royale. I'm sure at some point that'll happen. I hope that it does, and I'm going to work towards that. Like I said, get that watch that you want. It doesn't even have to be an Omega. It can be. I have a $100 Timex. You can get a $20 Timex or Casio at the store. It doesn't have to be expensive, and there's even still more expensive watches than the one I got. Someone will always have more, or have bigger, or have better. A bigger house, a bigger, faster car, all these things. Striving to be better than everyone else can be good, I guess, in some regards, but you should just strive to be the best you, because at the end of the day, that's all that matters. The content of your character and how you treat other people in your life, the people that you interact with, both in your family and out on the street, random strangers. Do you hold the door open for people? Do you say thank you and please? Just the normal basic stuff that we're all taught as children. We need more good out in this world. We do. We absolutely need it. I'm not trying to get into any political stuff with this, but I know whichever side of the aisle you're on, we see stuff that's happening, and it does affect us. And there is a lot of negative out there. There's a lot of negative news. Like, that's all news is negative. You go on the news and it'll be, there's a shooting here, a stabbing here, car accident there, this person died, that person died, war, famine. When do they ever say anything good? We need to put good out there. And was this a bad event? Yes. On the whole, I would say no, because there's a lot of good that came from this. And that's what I'm trying to do here, is explain that from a bad scenario, something good can happen. This is a great story that is full of good, that I'm trying to put out there for more people to see. This is not about me. Did I get a watch? Sure, but it's not like I got anything out of it. I had to pay for it. I didn't get it for free. I'm trying to put his goodwill and his good story out there to possibly be an inspiration to other people to help improve their lives. That was the whole point, the bottom line of this video. And I think that's about it. I was trying to final thoughts, trying to put it into all the little things that I might have forgot as I was going along here, but I think that's really about it. I hope that I didn't forget anything. If I did, I can always record it later after I'm recording this part of this video, and I can put it in later, and my clock is going off. But I hope I didn't forget anything. If I did, I'll either put it in or it is what it is. I know for sure that I told at least 95% of what needs to be said about the story and what happened. But, so that's it. This was episode 16 of Sammy Legend's James Bond Show. I am Sammy Legend. This one was by far my favorite video that I have actually made. Even though it dealt with a harder, deeper topic, by far. Because this is a real world scenario of someone doing good. And I can help tell that story and spread that good. So I thank you for watching. And I'll see y'all next time. Shaken, not stirred, of course.